Welcome to today's meditation. Today we'll be exploring what change is in all of its forms, in all of its manifestations, if you will, from its initial arising to its fading away and new change arising. We'll go into the thoughts, feelings, and emotions that can accompany change. All transformation is change. And in a sense, I guess all change is transformation, but not in the same way of moving us forward toward knowing ourselves more deeply. And when we approach change as a transformation that is revealing more of who we are, we can find that change can be something we welcome instead of something we fear. So let's take a few deep breaths together. And if you feel comfortable, close your eyes, or you can just gaze down at the floor in front of you. Just breathing together, letting attention gently move to the breath, the sensations of the breath, wherever you feel it most. The tip of the nose, the rising and falling of the chest, or the belly. Just opening our awareness to this moment, right now, this breath. And if thoughts start to come and take us off into the past or the future, that's okay. That's what thoughts do. But we can gently bring our attention back to this moment, right now, this breath. Right now in the Northern Hemisphere, it's winter, the time of year when the days are shortest and the nights are longest. When darkness is something that's a bigger part of our daily lives. And that can lead to changes in our own internal systems. Things like seasonal affective disorder, or just the kinds of anxiety and depression that can come with the holiday season and the new year. And just like we can bring our attention to this present moment by bringing our attention to the breath, we can bring that same attention to the thoughts and feelings of fear, anxiety, depression. We can be curious about what these feelings are. We can be curious about the thoughts that create the story that drives the fear. So, taking that attention from the breath and just bringing it to wherever thoughts arise in your experience. Allowing the thoughts of what winter means to you to simply arise and show themselves. And if there's fear that comes with that, if there's anxiety that comes with that, simply feeling those feelings. Where is that feeling in the body? Where does it arise? Where's the resistance to that feeling, if there is any? Where does it arise? And gently, compassionately, and with curiosity, just bring your attention to the story that's being told right now with the thoughts and the feelings. Notice what those thoughts and feelings are actually made of. The same consciousness, the same attention that we bring to the breath and the present moment. That same consciousness that is constantly arising and passing away, arising and passing away. And when thoughts and feelings become a story, and we find ourselves on a hamster wheel of anxiety or depression, we can always gently, compassionately, and curiously go to that story. Be with it and look for the storyteller. Who or what is that story, that collection of thoughts and feelings and maybe resistance appearing to? Who is it appearing for? And then we can bring our attention to the unknown. We can simply allow attention to rest in the emptiness that is filled with potential, in the emptiness that the story of fear or anxiety or depression is arising from and fading into again. We can see that these stories don't define us. They're simply here for a moment and gone again. We can see that our resistance to the story frequently keeps it alive, gives it a sense of reality. creates a sense of a self that is experiencing the suffering of the story. It's all about curiosity for this experience. And we begin to see that that story is like a movie on a screen, simply flickering light and sound. And we are not that flickering light and that flickering sound. We are the screen of awareness that it's appearing on. And as we gently and curiously bring our attention closer to the screen, we see that the story is simply made up of the same thing that the screen is made up of, that the space behind and in front of the screen is made up of. The emptiness of the unknown, from which all potential arises and passes away in each moment. This exploration into experience isn't something esoteric or spiritual. It's a practical application of our senses and our mind with a curious, compassionate, gentle awareness in service of knowing more deeply who we are. It is the hero's journey of bringing together what's arising in what's apparently the outside world, our reality, and what's arising in what's apparently the inside world, our thoughts and feelings, and seeing that they are no different. And simply getting to know who or what all of this is arising for. And a part of this gentleness, this curiosity, this compassion for ourselves and others is about a deep acceptance of what's here in our experience at any moment. We can touch into this anytime. It doesn't need to happen in a meditation. It can happen in 10 seconds on the bus, in a traffic jam, in a board meeting. We can see that this emptiness, this potential, never leaves, never changes, simply conditions arise within it. We are not the conditions. We are not the thoughts. We are not the feelings. we are free to explore it all, to find out for ourselves who we are. And that's the hero's journey. And mindfulness is the vehicle that we take the journey in. So as we move through this darkest time of the year, we can take this opportunity to go deeply into this darkness, both within and without, to find all of the peace and stillness, to find all of the fear, sadness, anxiety, and simply to explore. Exploring the fullness of who we are. Let's take a few more deep breaths as we wiggle our fingers and toes. Bringing our attention to this space, the space we're in, this moment. Mm. Winter has always been especially difficult for me since I lost my little brother 20 something years ago, right before Christmas. And like we've talked about before, that grief was something that went so deep and brought so many challenges. And I think that in a lot of ways, that just reflects what winter is for so many of us. It can just go deep. The darkness of it can go deep because it does. Darkness does remind us of the emptiness, does remind us of the unknown. And the fear that can come with that, with the unknown, is a fear that we can start to gently, compassionately look at. What is that fear? What about the unknown am I afraid of? What isn't unknown? What does it mean to stand at the edge of the unknown? So often, the stories we tell ourselves are about things we think we know. We take the past, oh, this thing happened to me. I don't want that to happen again. Or something great, we call something great happened in the past. We're like, oh my God, that was the best. I need that again. And we're telling ourselves a story about the past and how it's going to affect the future or not going to affect the future, or what we need or what we want to be happy in the future. And we're looking away from the unknown because that doesn't fit into our model of me, what I want, what I need, what I have to do, what I don't want to do. And as we approach the unknown, which is what the hero's journey teaches us to do, and what the hero's journey guides us through as a map, and what mindfulness allows us to see is the state of being human, always at the edge of the unknown, we can have a different sense of moving through it. That it isn't about trying to resist, change, make, push, grab, cling. It's about what's here now and what intention is arising with the conditions that are arising. Always in life, conditions are arising, things are changing. The dog gets sick, someone dies, a new job comes, you win the lottery, you get a new car, you crash your car, you lose all your lottery money. And when always our thoughts and feelings are focused on how do I manipulate this situation to create the most safety, to make a life that will last forever and I will never die, we see that, oh, wait, that's a fool's errand. I could die tomorrow. I could die today. Not in a sense of, oh, how awful, God, but in a sense of the sobering sense of what does that really mean for the way I approach life today? What's really here arising in my experience? What intentions are arising? And then how can I take that intention and simply surrender to it, drop it into the unknown, and see what ripples, if any, come from it, rather than constantly creating a sense of separation from that unknown, from the world around me, building a sense of a self that's almost like a prison. You know, I am creating the walls around myself to guard myself against this and to bring more of this and to make this thing that will make me happy. Instead, we start to see that, oh, happiness can always be here in this moment with the realization of what it truly is. And it's a different kind of happiness, maybe, than I was just talking with Joe about this morning. I was sitting downstairs, filling up the tub and looking out at the creek and how beautiful it was and how peaceful it was. And I thought to myself, this is so peaceful, but it's not exciting. And I thought back to the difference 20 years ago when I first came up here. And I would go to my friend's house and sit by his bathtub and fill it up. And it wasn't my bathtub. It wasn't my happiness, but it was my desire for the thing that would make me happy. And that experience was like thrilling and exciting because it launched the mind into this anticipation of the future and this like adrenaline hit of what could I get? Imagine if I got that thing, how happy I would be, this happy every day, all the time. It's not that kind of happiness. And we start to realize that that kind of happiness, it just comes with the crash. It's looking for the chemicals to fix the perceived problem of life. Instead, we can opt for a peace and an acceptance of the unknown and all the possibility that can spring from it. That comes from the conditions that are always arising right now in this moment. That we don't even see when we're like, I need it to be this way. We've got our blinders on and we don't even see what could come in this moment. But when we're willing to just be with the dark, to be with the emptiness, to be with that potential, to surrender to it, to yield to it. Surrender sometimes maybe is more of a, can feel a little intimidating. But all we have to do is go, okay, wait, what if this desire that I have, what if I just loosened my grip on that a little? What if I just looked around at what's here right now, even if it feels unpleasant, even if it feels uncomfortable? What is that feeling? What is this thought? What is this story that is creating my reality right now? Who's telling it? What's it based on? It can feel so real. But once we start to see through it, we're like, it's not very real at all. It's just thoughts. How real are thoughts? So this is what winter feels like it's here for me this year, is that exploration, that deep exploration of emptiness, of stillness, of rest, of the stories we tell ourselves. What's it about for you?